Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the Gambia Radio and Television Services and your Women's Magazine. The Health Education Directorate talks to you on some of the health hazards during this period in this insert.
Today we're going to talk about child survival and the responsibility of men and women in making sure that people or children that are born in the Gambia are born gracefully and they grow up to take up the challenges that is available in the Gambia here. And around me I have Rohi Njai, who is she is from the Health Communication Unit, a program officer. And then we have our able nurse, a clinical nurse from the IMNCI by the name Kausu Bojang. Today, viewers, we are going to talk about what the Minister of Health is doing as far as improving child survival in the Gambia is concerned. If I can run down quickly to some of the most important things that people should know as far as child survival is concerned, is that in developing countries, including Gambia, the causes of death and illness, suffering among children under 5, probably, according to evidence, is malaria, pneumonia, and diarrhea. And what is responsible for all those things is probably simple thing that is key household behaviors, that if we promote those things, the deaths and the suffering can be reduced by 40%. That's why I want to quickly give the baton to Rohi to say hello to viewers and then pick it from there and tell Gambia what are the interventions the Minister of Health is doing as far as child survival is concerned, Rohi.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Jallo, my able boss. The Minister of Health and Social Welfare is doing a lot when it comes to women and child health in that aspect. So the Health Communication Unit under the Directorate of Health Promotion have been doing a lot in that effect. And we had a long-standing partners who are UNICEF. In terms of financial assistance and funding, they have been helping us a lot, and we have been working together with the Minister of Health in the dynamic leadership of the Gambia government. So we are also focused on 6 key household behaviors, as my boss rightly mentioned, and these are malaria, the promotion of using ITNs, exclusive breastfeeding, you have pneumonia, you have promotion of hand washing, and also ORS, that is oral rehydration solution, or we call it oral rehydration therapy. This is for the management of diarrheal diseases. But today, the most important issue that we are going to talk about is pneumonia. This key household behavior I have just named are our intervention areas with the UNICEF. This is where we are working on. And we are working on in the length and breadth of the country to see to it that the advancement of women and children are done as expected. Yeah. So as connecting it to the MDG 4 and 5, achieving women and child health, or reducing child mortality and morbidity by 2015. So this is really very relevant in connection to that. That is why we are here.
Okay, thank you very much, Rohi. As I said, today we're going to talk about pneumonia, because now we are coming into a new climate, that is the Hamatan. And you know, when the Hamatan comes, Kausu, we normally see a lot of cases of pneumonia. So that is why today we want to begin to talk about pneumonia. How can we at home able to manage pneumonia? And if we see, or if we have a child who is sick and we think he has pneumonia, what can we do to make sure that that child has safe life? Kausu.
Thank you, Jim, and good evening, viewers. This is a very important forum for all of us to share with the country as to what we need to do in order to bring the health of children to an expected level. As we all know, we are about to enter the 2015, and our target is to reduce the child mortality in this country to an accepted level, that is WHO recommended levels. With that, I think this forum will at least sensitize the Gambians to know what we need to do. Pneumonia, as you said, is one of the major killer diseases in this country. And the Ministry of Health, through you and with the able leadership, I think this step will help us to attain our MDGs. Though we have a big challenge that lies ahead, but with this, I think it's a cost-effective intervention that UNICEF is also sponsoring. In the first place, pneumonia is a disease that is caused by a germ called bacteria. And then there are so many factors that can also trigger the disease to a very unforeseen circumstance. Like if a child is poorly immunized, that child will obviously be exposed to certain immunocompromise, which may lead the child to harbor in any infections that comes. With pneumonia, low birth weight, poor nutrition, lack of exclusive breastfeeding, among other things, contributes to excessiveness of severe infection of the disease, and when not taken care of, may lead to death. And this is why we are out here, because children are the backbone of our country, and we need to protect them. And how do we protect them? We need to look into interventions that are cost effective. And I think enlightening people to know what they need to do at their household level to save life is key. And that is, if you realize your child is suffering from pneumonia, and you should take action. All you need to do is to make sure that the child is properly clothed, and then the nostrils that may ooze need to be cleaned to prevent the child from moving from
simple to
severe conditions. And then the other thing is you need to properly clothe the child in this Hamatan period, because once you leave your child to walk in this dry, moist wing, the chances of that child getting the disease is high.
Unfortunately, if the child got pneumonia at home, what advice are you going to give mothers or caregivers? What are they going to do?
You need to observe certain signs and symptoms before you can actually say, let me go to the health center. But for a layman at home, it may be difficult to know this child is suffering from pneumonia. The best thing for one to observe at the house is, if you realize your child is suffering from running nose and is running temperature all the time, the best thing for you to do is to run to the nearest health facility. Or if you realize the child is having runny nose but without fever, you need to prepare home remedies like honey and lime, give it to the child for a period of 1 day or so. If you realize it is not proper, the best thing you to do is to go to the nearest health